If you are on, I can't see you yet because I'm not actually looking at you yet. Let's see here. You know if, oh, there we go. I need to mute my computer. Happy Friday. Hopefully your week went fast. And that doesn't even sound right, does it? Recovering from vacation. I had an amazing time down in Texas, so it's definitely warmer there than it was here, even though it was foggy and gloomy the whole time I was there. It was still a very good time. And it was good. I have no complaints whatsoever. So I will, well, we'll give it another 30 seconds. So if you're catching the replay, make sure to comment, say hi. If there's something that you would like to see me do that I have yet to do, please feel free to drop a comment for, hi Jessica, hi my little best friend, if you're watching with your mama. If you would like to see something that I haven't done, you know, stamp set wise, interactive wise, any ideas, I'm always open for, you know, fun stuff. I was planning started today and it didn't happen. This Brewing Up Creativity with Jaime class live locally. So last year we did it in the coffee house, hence the Brewing Up. And we switched it to in-house this year, and so I really enjoy it in-house. I get to, you know, I don't have to prep nearly as much because if I forget something, I can just walk to my classroom. It works very well for me. Or my mask, I should say, not my classroom. My classroom is the kitchen table in the dining room, so you know it works. So, hi, Lori. Well, Lincoln, hi back at you. I hope you had an amazing, again, I think they're cute even just for an ornament on the tree. I am using the red here is a red metallic from envelopes.com. I want to say it's a luxe paper. I bought it in, they had it like on super clearance last 2 years ago, and I got it for a steal of a deal. So for our card, this was my mock-up. So when we talk about creating, and sometimes, you know, I usually start with my mock-up for card class. I don't know where I'm going with it, and it usually ends up, you know, fairly close to mock-up, but sometimes this was my actual one in card class. It gets switched. I felt this one's gorgeous as is, but I felt this just didn't have enough, and I didn't want to add more images down here, which I could have done to make it fuller or to make it look better. And so when I was doing my actual class mock-up, which was this one, I decided to increase the size of the shake, and it just gives it a little pop of something. So definitely, you know, all of them work beautifully. This one is lacking glitter, which is fine. Of course, I glittered all the things last night because it's glitter. So that's the card we're making today, and then we'll do an ornament. So the ornaments, if I can get it, here we go. So the ornaments ended up, of course, I ran out of paper, but for the most part, this was the ornament that we had planned. So the circle bases come from Amazon. This is what I ended up ordering. I will try to remember to look for it and link it down in the description box after the live if you are interested. I liked the quality of these. They were fairly cheap. I want to say less than 30-ish cents a piece, maybe even less. I don't think it was, you know, that was last year because I bought them for class last year. So that's where I picked up my wood blanks for the ornaments. They seem to be super flat, which I like, and they have a little bit, you know, they're probably what, an eighth of an, well, it's less than an eighth probably. So, but they have a nice, I'm sure that they're used for wood burning in a glow forge type of thing, but they work well for this one. The circle that I used is the circle that was big enough, but not too big. So you could do almost any kind of circle and paint all those things. So for this one, we kept it fairly simple on the back, although I'm going to flip this one over and you'll see what I did last night because I didn't have numbers cut. It happens. So I also added Glossy Accents and a little bit of Prisma glitter to the globe on this one. And I like the effect of that one. Don't mind that because I went like this and it tipped and ran. But add some glitter. So it just adds a little bit. These will be sweet additions to the tree. So yes, when I say I flipped it and did something else on the back because I didn't have these ones I had left over from last year. And then I added the little bear because I felt that just the number was too much. But you could definitely add names on there. We are not fitting Schlungen on the back of that ornament unless I use the teeny tiny text from Tim Holtz. And this girl don't have time for that. Not happening. So to start, I'm going to show you what I'm using today. For the most part, we are bringing in the snow globe bear. So if this is the only one you have, it will work perfectly for this one because we can do all of it with this for the most part. We'll just have to switch the reveal wheel part of it. So we're going to use this one as our main focal image for the class today. So we get 3 different ones out of that one. I am going to bring in just the little tree from this one for the snow globe. That's why I said you really don't need it, but if you have it, it works. Otherwise, you could definitely just do the Be Merry or What Shaking on your reveal wheel for your card, or not make it a reveal wheel and make your life a little bit easier. So those done. Now I have the reveal wheel add-on somewhere. I say somewhere because I'm really not sure where it currently is. I looked. I cleaned my desk mostly and I can't find it. So it's here somewhere, but I will show you how I did the front since I don't actually have the front or that adapter piece. I can't really show it to you live, but I will show you how I ended up doing them. So basically, we're going to pop this one since I haven't used this one, but we're going to pop that one in. So this would be your, I guess, your piece. Keep in mind that your reveal wheel, actually, if we do this one. So if your reveal wheel is here, and this isn't going to look right because obviously it's going to be the other way. But as long as your, say, sentiment is going to be here. So here was where your pin is going to be. And so if you keep this in mind, you just want to do your circle or your image about that far below. Keep in mind that you're leaving room in the middle there. I wanted to bump them over. I did not like how my first one turned out. So this one, you'll see that this one is just over further, and it'll be easier to show you with this piece. So this is my original, and I ended up just bumping him over, just a little bit. I felt that it brought this out just a little bit more, and it helped with turning that dial placement type of thing. So I don't know if that helps. If you have questions on that one, please drop them below and I can try to answer them the best that I can. I do have, I started with that piece, but I ended up modifying it a little bit just to make it go where I wanted it to go, if that makes sense. Alrighty, so let's get into coloring. We're actually going to have to die cut stuff today because I didn't do all of the things. The other thing, I already have this one pre-set up. So I will show you how I did that one quick before we get too far here. Negatives. And I put a little bit of sticky there. I drop it in there. I drop in this one here. And then going in with your stamps. So we're just going to take our stamps. We're going to line them up where we think they're going to be needed. Hello, Tina. And keep in mind that the bear one has that little line on the bottom because they're going to be at an angle. So keeping your sentiments in there. So this is how I do this one, and then I can mass produce them. It makes it a lot easier than trying to put this over each one. I don't have the other one on here because I'm going to use that in a little bit, but putting all 3 on there, closing your door, picking it up, and then I can remove this piece. I don't need this piece anymore. I can pop in my blank wheel. I ran away with my blank wheel. Okay, so I'm not going to pop in my blank wheel. I'll pop in this one, and then it will line up perfectly with where they're supposed to be placed on the wheel, if that makes sense. So that's, and then you can mass produce them, do them in multiples. If you're not doing multiples, I don't know. It works well for me to do it this way. I don't do well with trying to keep the stencil on the reveal wheel piece and then all the other steps. I did not grab, oh, that was what I was supposed to grab. I did not grab my other piece of paper. Let me grab that quick. Just me running away. For tomorrow's class. Great planning on my part. So I did do the colors on this one. I'm not in love with my color combo in this one. It took a little bit more to blend than one time over. So this is probably a 2 coat to get it that coloring. And so last night's bear, I ended up coming in with, I want to say I pulled in this color combo and I liked that one. It blended a lot faster. I only needed 1 layer and it went a lot smoother. So if that's, these ones are up on my Instagram page. They're also up on my blog on that little Ohuhu color blend section. And if you follow Jessica Squirrel on Instagram, she just shared with you like 500 different color combos. Okay, it wasn't maybe 500, but it was a lot. So I will leave these out for reference for me because it helps me with shadowing, drawing in. I stuck with these ones. I stuck with my set of 60 colors and my skin tones that I bought from Ohuhu recently for my card class stuff. I will say this, they are lacking grays. So if you're trying to do a minimal on the buy spectrum, personally, I would go for the 320 set just because it has everything you need and for the price point. It's like what, it's like 160. I think they're on sale right now, so you can get them for less than that. And then if you go with the bigger ones, I'm trying to think which ones. My husband might have gotten me the brush and fine nib for Christmas. Yeah, it was only 200. Yeah, only 200 color combinations. It's an amazing list of color combinations. So my husband might have gotten me the 644. I did the darker one. It looks darker on here just because it's all dark. So I went with this one here and I liked that one. And I only did the 2 and it blends faster. I need to remember to only do 2, like 1 or 2 color combos for class because all of them are newbies. And so it's a lot to try to, explain the multi-tonal blends. And they did a lot better with this, the simpler tone on tone, the color on top of the color. So I have found with Ohuhus, their color names match across the board. So 644 is their natural oak, and that's not the one I want. I want 367, which is going to be the caramel or caramel, however you choose to say that one. And then for my brown tone, I'm going to bring in E294, which is the buttercup yellow for my brown bear. So let's see. I have stories like nobody's business. I was in Texas last, so I left Thursday morning early, as in like I get up for chores at security dog. Note to self, don't walk in the shop before going to the airport. I'm not even sure if that's what it was, but I also had my computer with me because I needed to do some photo. It's hour and a half drive to the airport, so it probably got a little bit on the warm side. And so in Minneapolis, you walk through 2x2, and it's an explosives dog. It's not a drug dog. So personal escort through through the security. It was wonderful. Yeah, it was what it was. It actually got me through security probably just about as fast as I normally would have gotten through security. So it was all good. So I'm just coming in with my second tone here and working that darker tone into the second one. Going back over that area is going to help blend in the dark tone to your mid-tone or medium tone. And therefore, if you have any, if it looks like a harsh line, just keep blending. You'll get it. Sometimes it takes more than one blend with, and I'm going in a circular motion today. Sometimes I don't. Today, that's just how it's going. It's it's a bigger jump in that dark to medium tone. So going circular kind of gives you a little bit more ink coverage, or ink coverage than the other. So once I got through security, because they were like, I think the guard realized as soon as he pulled my computer, he's like, it's hot. And I'm like, it is? I'm like, usually it goes into snooze mode on its own. And it chose not to go into snooze mode. I think it was just, here, let's start your weekend with an adventure. Hello, Paige. Kentucky. Kentucky sounds nice this time of year. Well, it's actually pretty nice in Minnesota. It's like only 40. It's 40 today. So after this, I have to get outside and do some of those yard chores that I, didn't get done yet. My husband reminded me this morning. My pots and stuff need to get put away. I'm cheating and using the big side because it takes a long time with the little side. And then to go on this one, Southern Indiana. I've been in Indiana. We went to, I can't remember. It was halfway between Maryland and Minnesota because my father delivered a tractor for us and we picked it up halfway. It was like some little blip on the map. About an hour. I think an hour west of Gary, maybe. Okay. So I'm just going to go over it with a second full layer. And of course, where it's already dried or colored once, it's going to get a second layer of darkness. So alcohol inks, of course, are translucent. And so adding another layer is going to just add another layer of color on top. And so your color underneath is going to get a little bit darker. And then for this one, I'm just going to go add it, let it dry a little bit, and then I will come back in with a second layer. And then I'll come back to my snow globes. I think we're going to do, should we do, I think we're just going to do some easy peasy lemon squeezy ones today, because I'm going to need this one too. I'll just do polar bears on the rest of them. So I'm coming in with a W2, which is warm gray 2, I guess. I don't know what this one's like my old one, so I don't know what their new one is. And I can't say that that's 60, and the skin tone set has no grays in it. I think WG 160 comes with that 60 set from Ohuhu, which would probably work okay for this one. And then just using the colorless blender and kind of touching tip to tip to get a lighter tone. And here. And then I'm going to come in with WG01, which is warm gray 1. I'm just going to kind of blend that out just a teeny tiny little bit. Let's do his muzzle all gray. And we'll go this one too. I'm not great with the brush anymore because I haven't used brush for a long time, but I do like the brush when it comes to larger areas. I'm going to bring in my colorless blender, make sure that it's actually colorless, because a bear, and of course I forgot his little tail. So come in and add a little color there. So it'll dry back a lot. Right now it looks wet, so I don't know if that helps or not. Let's see. More Texas Jaime Girls Weekend stories. So all of my friends from Texas were sick except for 2 of them. So the one that picked me up from the airport, and then the other one is actually a writer, and so she had deadline and was quite busy. But we did catch up for coffee a few days and coffee and lunch, and then lunch lupper. I don't know. I call it lupper because it's halfway in between dinner and supper. It was like at 2:30, 2 o'clock. A lunch, dinner. I don't know. We call it lupper here. Lunch and supper, because in Minnesota we have our dinner and supper, but yeah, we don't call it dinner, we call it supper. And then, so Andy and I went out on Friday, and she took me on the ferry, which I'd never been on a ferry. I've been on boats, but I've never driven onto a ferry and actually crossed the water. So we're in the Gulf of Mexico. So they go from Galveston Island to, I'm probably going to say it wrong. I can't even remember the name at the moment. Belvedere Peninsula, I think. And so you can drive on land the other way around, but it takes forever. And so we took the ferry across, and it was kind of drizzling on and off. It was definitely gray and cloudy. I did not get to enjoy gorgeous sunrises like I like to do when we're there. But so we went and we crossed, and we're driving on the road, and there's a turtle in the middle, stuck, he's tucked in his shell, stuck in the middle. And so we stopped. Well, we turned around. We both looked at each other. Yes, we need to go save the turtle. It's something my father would have done for my sister-in-law, Dawn. And so it was just kismet. We needed to go and save the turtle. So we went and saved the turtle, came back. Andy got out, took the turtle the rest of the way across the road. And that was the start of my Friday. And so we did our turtle rescue. And then on Belvedere, you can actually drive on the beach because there's no like parking lots or anything with a permit. So I'm coming in with my geranium, which is $8.65. And then I'm going to come in with some coral red, which is $5.86. And we get to the first one, and it had stormed Thursday, like super bad. Like the waves were crashing up onto the sidewalk on seawall, swam up, this runoff water because the currents and the waves were so high. And so he got stuck. And so we were like, oh, the poor fish died. And he was big. He was not little. And he flapped. And I'm like, oh, he's still alive. So here's me wading through the water. And I went and caught him and put him back in the ocean. Yep. Don't ask. It was just a crazy day. So we were shelling, and we didn't find great shells at that beach. So we continued onward. We got off the beach, went around, went up a little bit further. And we were, just driving along, and all of a sudden we saw a bird that had a hurt wing. And so here we are. And she's like, well, we've got this. There's a bird on the beach that has a wing that's injured and he can't fly. And so they're like, well, if you can catch him, you can bring him to the Humane Society. And then we pick them up from the Humane Society and we can rehabilitate them there. So Andy, Joy, of course, went and caught the bird. She looked at me, are we good with this? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. We can save the bird today. I have, I have nothing to do today. I'm on vacation. So she got the bird in, if you follow me on Instagram, there is a picture, I think it posted to Instagram, of her catching the bird in her jacket, or in her hoodie, I think. And so she got it. And then, of course, she had to drive back onto the ferry again and all the things. So she's like, are you going to be okay holding it, or I can hold it? So I'm like, I can hold the bird. It's just a bird. So it was not impressed with, being covered with the shirt. It's so I ended up carrying it back across, and then we went to the Humane Society with it. It was just a really you know, it was an odd day. What can we say? It was just an odd day. It was funny. It was, you know. And so we're talking to the girls that night that couldn't make it because they weren't feeling well. And they're like, well, you were with Andy Joy. So none of this is not believable. And none of it really surprised any of them. They're like, well, yeah, it was you and Andy. We didn't expect anything less than, you know, craziness to ensue. So that's, yeah, that was my Friday on girls' vacation. It was quite fun. I did not bring in my bucket, and so I don't have the little baby bear for the back. So I'm probably just going to skip him today because, yeah, I'll add him later. Now, when I stamped, I wasn't great with my stamping because I couldn't stand over the top and actually look. So I'm just going to come in with a fine liner and add in my little line there. I'm leaving this one because we're going to use that one for our reveal wheel. So for this one, I'm keeping it super simple. I'm just going to go in with one green. I'm going with bronze green. I didn't know that was the green that I grabbed, but that's the green that I grabbed. So it's maybe a little bit darker than my other one. I think my other one is like I think it was grass green. So if you want more of the grassy color green or that brighter green, go with the grass green. And then I'm just going to go back over to add my drop shadow underneath that one there with a second layer of green. Granted, it's, you know, Christmas tree. I guess you could make it a white Christmas tree. I have a heavily flocked one this year. And this one, that one. And for my brown, I'm just going to grab that mid-tone color for my tree trunk. And then for the star, I'll just bring in that yellow that I used for the base. I kind of wanted a gold, and I think the gold was actually the darker yellow. So the golder yellow is the one that is on the thing. Yes, it's Tina, it really does help to like play with them a little bit, but even Copics, you can get really good blends with one marker and multiple layers, or two markers and multiple layers. It really does seem to help all the things. So I think I have a BG1. I don't think this one comes with the other one. So for class, we did a BG083, which is Cool Gray 083, which is just going to be a soft shadow for the most part. And it kind of has a bluish purple hue to this one. And I just kind of go along the whole outside. And of course, it smeared my thing because it didn't dry properly. Go figure. So I'll just go this one. I'm going to try to go around that spot because it's not dry yet. Which is weird because I actually used the one that's made for it. And that's going to dry back pretty good. Anyways, you can definitely add some color onto your snow if you want. We'll go in and add glitter later because it's glitter. I'm not going to do any coloring on the outside of that one. You can, I did, but it's really not needed. Now for hats, I think we only really used one hat last night. Some of them didn't use any hats. I will color one. And then I think I have one on standby from last night's. And so I'm going in with my darkest red of, you know, so my red from my card base kind of ties into my image. And that was kind of how I did it. But I did do red bases on this one, so it wasn't, can I say it didn't feel like I needed the red hat last night like I did in my other ones. So, and for the hat, you can totally do just that dark red, do one layer of red, and then do the whole thing with that second layer of dark red, and it turns out beautifully. So for my Christmas tree on this one, I'm gonna color these quick. Pretty simple coloring on this one as well. Just those tree bases and the trees. So Where did I go with the green? I'm horrible at catching comments, so if I missed something and you wanted me to, you know, hit something again, let me know. I will definitely. Yes, they're, you know, the trees are so tiny. It's just easy to do that one layer. And really, that one color, I need to remember it for class because I had my aunts came last night that have never done anything on this respect. And so she's like, but I want mine to look like yours. And I'm like, that's like years and years and years and years of coloring practice. She did very well. Super well. You know, she didn't like the one blend. So, you know, I just gave her tips and pointers and she ended up going with the second layer and hers looked just as good as mine. So it's, you know, perseverance, I suppose, when you're coloring, if it's not looking right the first time, just keep going. So, and you know, starting over is definitely an option. So there are the colors that I used today to color my images. So pretty minimal color palette today. I didn't, of course, do the black bear because I was trying to go fast. It's what happens when I am I shouldn't say ill prepared. I just ran out of time. It happens. So for this one, most of the hard work, it took us the longest probably just to color our images last night. And the rest was, you know, pretty much just putting everything together. Of course, the reveal wheel one has its own challenges because, you know, that's just kind of how it rolls. I am bringing in my little, well, maybe I'm bringing in a little mini one. My Sizzix little one. I did have the red one forever, and my sister-in-law kiped it when she went through the stuff that I was getting rid of, and there was some that had the dyes in it. And so she's like, well, can I take that one? And I'm like, yes, because I picked the black one up. I think Hobby Lobby had them when they got rid of all their things. I ended up being there when they had clearanced them out. And so I think I picked this one up for like $15. I had gotten it to put in, you know, like for my, either my class stuff or as a gift, because for, you know, for that price, I couldn't not. And so my old one worked just perfectly fine as well. Just buying the new, because it was made for the ones that had the plastic on them, right? So if you actually just buy the new cut mats for it, the gray ones, it works just like this one. And so, yes, I might have started her on all the things. And so, yeah. And this one, we need to do that cutout yet, and then I will do that one hat yet. Or, oh, I didn't add my shadow onto my Santa hat. You know, I'll probably just add glitter anyway, so let's be real. I'll just save myself that step and add glitter. I was going to add glitter anyways. Maybe as it gets caught on my fingers. Okay. I'll put those off to the side, garbage, and this one. So for this one, we're coming back in because we're going to make it a reveal wheel. You can also use this way, and then of course die cut those other shapes out and pop them behind it if you want it to be see-through. My issue with this one though is with making it see-through, I feel like you have to see the bear through it. And so, you know, it's one of those like little details that bugs me. It shouldn't, but it does if I overthink it. Okay, so we have our little bear ready for the reveal wheel. Pop that up. So these are the only ones that I get the dies for, truthfully, are the ones that are for reveal wheel style things. Maybe if they have to pop their hands, you know, like the new one, I guess. I haven't watched any of the new stuff. What do you guys think of the new upcoming release? One of these days, I will find some time and sit down and actually watch a video. Let's see. Where are we starting? Let's go with this one. I don't really need this piece right now, so I'm going to leave that one. We're done with those ones. So we're going to pop these ones off to the side. I have it already scored and ready to go, so we will fold our base here in half. I'm just going to come out with a bone folder and try to crease it a little bit better. It's super heavy paper, so it doesn't like to lay flat. It is what it is. And we have that one ready to go when we're ready for it. So for this one, I'm going to come in. I've already measured it out, set it up in my MISTI so it's got equidistance from one side to the other. Yes, the new release is cute. The little bit that I've seen, like the sneak peeks, because I sat down to watch one of them, I don't know, the other day. I don't watch TV very well in general, and I've just been too busy to actually sit down at night and do anything besides sleep. But so this one's already in there. I have it lined up, enough room underneath it so that my big word will fit. I did end up cutting the stamp. If it was just for me personally, I wouldn't have cut the shake off. I would have just selectively inked. But because it was for class, I sacrificed and cut it. It's not a huge deal. Yeah, Lawn Fawn never disappoints. My pocketbook is always disappointed with me when I'm done with the new Lawn Fawn release. It is what it is. I'm hoping I will hit. We have a local store that carries, so I think I'm going to try to hit there next week on release day. Because then I'll probably end up with more, because once I see it. Yeah, yours too. Yeah, for some odd reason, So I'm coming in with Aged Mahogany Distress Oxide ink. I like how it stamps color-wise. I could have definitely gone with like a dye ink from Close to My Heart or whatever you have. Dye ink with distress line does not stamp very well. That's why I went with, of course, the oxide. From the little bit that I saw, because I think, was it on Instagram where they post all of the pictures, like the other ones? And did I see like a magic iris with a heart cut out? Because that's, yeah, not good for my pocketbook, because I know that those plates cost like $25, right? At least. And well, it's cute. Not that I need another option. I could probably make it right. I need to leave that on there for tomorrow. Walk away from, so this one we're going to let sit and dry for a little bit, and we're going to work on our other piece. Oh yeah, because I took that piece out and showed you how I did it, and then I set it off to the side. I found it. We're good. Okay, so for this one, last night we didn't add the bear until we were all done, because if I didn't place this one quite right, I wanted to kind of make the bear, maybe he needed to lean forward a little bit more or lean back a little bit more, because I wasn't exactly sure. So I kind of set him on here for a guide of placement, and we're just going to kind of come in here with one of these. Keeping in mind you have that little score line there, so you can kind of see where it's supposed to fall in the window. Keep in mind that I also didn't follow along with my actual, where my cutout was supposed to be. So trying to make sure that it's in the general vicinity. I wanted it to have more grip on the outside there. Now, of course, my tape is in the other room because I used it yesterday. I'm just going to come in with some washi and add my washi on the front here. So it's going to hold this piece in place. Of course, I didn't do the other part yet, but so it's going to hold that piece in place, and it will help me to get it on there right. So intimidated by the magic eye. kind of intimidating. I think the biggest thing with it is to figure out what works for you. I had a really hard time with, oh, you know what? I can't do that step yet because I didn't add the other. All right, we're going to backpedal. I'll do that again. I struggled the first time, but of course that was because I was using the first couple of times because I used the glue dots, and my glue dots just never last here, or they don't work here. And so when I switched it to the other and making yourself a stencil and understanding it, it's, it helps most definitely. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit more time consuming than some of the other interactives. And then my issue is, what do I put in the center of it? I'm just coming in with, I don't know, the base part of my tree. I'm not overly worried about it. I'm also trying to stay within that score line there to kind of help, so it's not sticking out. So I just added some snow. It just adds a little bit. It's gonna kind of go with my background paper. I'm using Glacier from Close to My Heart. It would be similar to Speckled Egg. I just wanted to go with something that matched my cardstock on this one. This one is actually from Simple Stories. I think it's last year's release or the year before's release. Hey, Jamie, since we have this out, let's finish what we started here. Okay. I'm coming in with a mini brad. You could probably use just a regular brad, but I have the mini ones on my desk for all of the other things, so I just tend to grab whatever's there. So I go through the front of it with my brad top, and then through that circle that goes on the back, and then I'm going to open that up. Now for my little pieces here, okay, I'm going to come in with, just going to go in with 2 little pieces on either side. Now, to me, it's not, I get distracted too. Well, yeah, it happens. Yes, platform pop-up is probably my favorite, just because it's so cool. It's like cooler than the pop-up box. But anyways, back to what I'm doing. So I don't usually worry about, as long as you're not covering these, you'll be fine, because even if they hit, they're just gonna keep, it's still gonna turn on the top, the front of the reveal wheel. So I don't worry about that, just as long as you're not covering up both of, if you're not going over the top, you're usually fine. I'm gonna pop off my release papers right away. And then we're gonna come back and line this one up again, because maybe I'll remember what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And so I have my bear in there. I'm going to make sure that his little tree is inside of his snow globe, kind of, sort of, where he's supposed to be. And this is where I'm going to trust that my placement with the stencil was close enough that it's all going to work out. If it doesn't, well, I will end up, deconstructing a card. And so I'm going to line this up onto my card front. I'm not going to leave it there, so I'm really just doing this to get that base piece, and then I can peel this one away and this one away, and then it will spin where it's supposed to spin. Now at this point you can come in with a circle punch if you want. I'm going to wait until the very end and hope for the best, just because I want to make sure that I'm where I need to be for this one, so it lines up a little bit better. So for this one, I'm going to come in with some liquid glue. Of course my glue is not going to work today. Let's see if this one will work today. Yes, interactive cards are probably my favorite. And I think it's because I suck at sending cards out. And so it takes me longer to make an interactive card. So it keeps me busy longer. I said what I said. I suck at sending them out. We were talking. My husband was like, oh, you need to send so-and-so a card for Christmas. And so-and-so a card for Christmas. So-and-so a card for... And I looked at him and I'm like, you're cute, thinking I actually send out. He's like, you make all these cards. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't mean I'm going to send them. That requires me to like write on an envelope and fill it out and figure out what to say on the inside. And yeah, so I'm really bad at sending cards out. I try. See, yeah. Tina laughs at me. I'm not wrong. I'm serious on that one. I'm really bad at sending them out. Now, I have some that I don't send out because I think they're too cute to send out. So then they need to stay here for a while until I've, made something cuter that I feel I can send it out. It happens. It's how I roll. So for my letters here, I kind of I wanted them, you can either do them super straight, which is totally fine. And I would definitely encourage the washi tape. Line it up on your mat. Go over with the washi, flip it, glue it, stick it back down, and then let it dry and then peel off your washi. But for this one, I thought it would be kind of fun to shake the letters up since they're, they spell shake. So truthfully, I'm just going to come in. Well, I was going to grab my reverse tweezers, but that would be like, I have to find it. Don't ask. I have 4 of them. I kind of kept, I tried to kind of keep my S and my E semi straight and or lined up, and then kind of shake the rest of the letters in the middle there. We'll see how this one goes. Obviously, it's going swimmingly, sticking to my fingers and all. Okay. And then I'll probably do the H and, just along and make sure that they kind of have an equidistant space. By skewing them a little bit, it doesn't have to be perfect and it's going to look cute. So it works. I don't know why I have red on my finger, but I have red on, probably from, it must be alcohol ink from my marker. Typical. Doot. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to add this one on there. So that's on there. We just have the bear and the others to add yet. So for this one, because we have, we want to make sure that our placement is going to be good. We want the wheel to have spin room. Last night I did it this way, and I don't know if I would, tell you to do it this way, but keep in mind I need about a 1/4 inch there and a 1/4 inch there. And so I just did it that way. I will come in and do my bottom ones on my actual back panel piece. But by doing it this way, I knew that my wheel was going to spin and I didn't have to worry about putting my adhesive on this one and flipping it and then touching the wheel. So I will do it on the bottom of this one just because I have plenty of room. And I'm not an over foam taper, I guess. I kind of err on the side of less is more. It's a card. It's not, I don't know. I guess I never worry about it like popping off. Because usually when I mess up and try to pull it off, it doesn't want to come off. So for the most part, it should stick fairly well, right? Just saying. Okay. So once I have those on, I'm gonna line this one back up. So if I pull that one there, kind of trying to keep it that equidistance, it should be pretty close. Mostly straight. And then hoping for the best. Oh, I'm sorry it got pixelated. It's called living in the sticks. Oh, be good, for goodness shake is what the sentiment says. I'm sorry. Yes, my internet is, I'm using the phone. Sometimes it's really good. My home internet is really bad. One day we might actually get less than dial-up internet speed. My kids look at me funny when I say dial-up internet. They're like, what are you talking about, Mom? I'm like, well, back in the day, that's what we had. And it was super slow. So once I have my card front on, I'm just going to add my bear. So I just add a little bead of glue around the outside, making sure not to have too much that it's going to ooze, because I don't want it to ooze. And then not putting any behind his little hand, which I probably did today because I forgot. I know, living in the sticks is hard, man. Lack of internet connection. Ugh, it's, yeah. So what's shaken? And then, of course, the 2 Christmas trees. Yeah. And I don't remember when we didn't have, well, so we had dial-up forever. And so we ended up doing like the clear wire stuff, which is, I don't know. It can't say it was any much better than what we have now. But they ended up like going up in price. And I think I don't know if they went out of business, but they quit working. And so we ended up going, since the phone company went a little bit better, we went with them. And I swear it's gotten worse over the years, probably because we just have more internet stuff than we had before. So I'm just going to randomly put my snowflakes on. I try to do it in 3s, and I try to kind of space out my big ones so they're not all next to each other. Keep in mind the big ones work really good for covering up any oopsies. If you had any, oopsies on your background and or the other. Ask me how I know, because that's what I did yesterday. I actually, when I cut these, my tape that's supposed to be for die cutting stuck to my background and ended up like ripping it. Since I was out of this paper, I was like, well, I'll just use it for mine. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I could cover it with a little bit of snowflake and glitter and none the wiser. Oh, I love living in the sticks. I would, yeah. We, like, when I visit Galveston, yeah, it's great, but I could not live in a house like that next to my neighbors. I like that whole, privacy and backyard space, I guess. I might have, like, multiple acres of it, but so there is that one. Let's add some, of course, let's add some glitter. Now, because my card base is that deep dark red, I did do I just went through my stash and found, old long, I think this one's old close to my heart, but it's text weight basically. Yes, peace and quiet. And that's what I'll use on the inside. So if I ever do send it, I can just pop that in there and go. Now the other thing is we can cut this out. I just use a circle punch. You can definitely find, I'm trying to think if Lawn Fawn has anything that is similar. So I have marked on my circle punch the halfway point. If you end up using it for this a lot, I would suggest trying to find that halfway point. It just kind of helps to, when you're doing your punching. I'm just going to try to line it up the best that I can in my circle there so it's centered, and then I'll pop it, and this way you have a little bit more area to grip. If you don't have a fingernail, it helps. The other thing is my background paper back here is going to be the same color, so it's not going to matter. I did die cut out the little arrow. I don't think it's needed on this one just because you kind of see where you're going with it anyways. If it was a sequence one and you wanted them to go this way or this way because of, how lettering or wordings were in your reveal wheel, then maybe do the arrow. But yeah. Honestly. And some people can't handle the quiet and it would drive them nuts. I'm very much introverted. I don't like going out and like interacting just makes me nervous. I don't know. It's weird. It is what it is. So I totally, but I was, you know, born and raised out in the country. So I think that helps. But, you know, it's definitely different than city. I lived in an apartment for about a year and a half. And yeah, it was not the life for me. Everybody knew what you were doing. Granted, I think living in town would be horrible. You know, if you had a fence and okay neighbors. It's all good. So for the tag, like I said, these ones get pretty simple at this point because the hardest part of these ones is die cutting everything and then coloring your image and cutting them out. So this one, I die cut 2 tags, one from white and one from matte red. And then, of course, I just came in with a stitched border die, so Hilly borders. So we had, all of them are a little bit different. I also die cut 2 out of each white one. So I have one that goes this way and then one that goes this way. And that way you can get 2 tags out of that one cut. So it's, you know, saves you a little bit of time. Now for my bear on this one, I think we'll go this route. I think we'll go that one. I just kind of want to lay out my letters. So I just found the biggest die cut letters that I had that were kind of, you know, that worked. If all you have is Henry's ABCs, use Henry's ABCs. The tag is from, I want to say NFT, My Favorite Things. So it's their tag stack. It's one of those that it's just nice to have a nice tag set. Any tag would work. I like this size, worked really well. It's a good size for this size image, but it's a tag stack. So anything tag stack that's going to give you a variety of sizes, stitched or not, works really well. You can definitely just do them by hand and clip your corners, which works really well too. But yeah, for me, I think I got it on clearance last year or on sale. They had them on sale. I think they had them on sale, you know. And My Favorite Things has like 40% off, or I think it's right around Christmas and New Year's time. They usually do like their big 25-30% off everything. And so I always wait until they have one of their huge like 45% off die cuts or whatever they do. I think it's 35%. Wait, I smooshed my glue. So by putting the bear in the middle, I kind of know where my J and my Y placement is going to be. I'm just going to add a thin bead. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure they still have it because I think it was like a birthday set tag thing, but I just liked the option of all the different tag sizes. I want to say Waffle Flower probably has a stack of tags too. Anything that has a massive amount of, I'm guessing Trinity Stamps probably does too, because Trinity Stamps that's usually where I get a lot of my base dies from, because they have a boatload of dies when they do like their stacks. At least for like the modern embossed squares, you get like a load of them. For, you know, price wise, I think it's effective. And then for my little bear on this one, I'm going to pop him up. It just gives it a little bit something extra, I think. You can definitely go flat, but it's a tag, so for me, it's not going to go through the mail anyways, and so I'm not worried about adding extra postage on a lot of tags. So this one, and then for I'm using Lawn Fawn's diagonal gift tag die. They also have I think there's one that just is like the straight across one. I don't remember the names on them. Sorry. But just folding in on the little score lines that the die makes and then adding here. The other thing that you could do for this one is die cut out a second tag and just cut it here and then just do glue around the very edge. And it will also make you a little tag pocket that you can slide a gift card into. So you don't need to have that specific gift card die for this one. You definitely could take, so I didn't have the right size. But you could definitely take this, cut it off, and do a tag that way or this way. So once that is all that is, I try to usually have a gift card on hand just so you can tuck it in there and make sure that your glue did not ooze and make it non-usable. Ask me how I know these things. I've done them. So that's just one of those like tips to keep a used gift card. This one's not a used gift card, but keep a gift card on hand by your desk just to slide in and out to make sure that it's not gonna stick. I'm bringing in my, I don't know, it's probably super old, my Memories Keeper chomper, just to add the die on this. I think the tags that might come, it probably comes with the die to make the hole in your tag and the little tag thing, but you know, that's a lot of extra, especially when you're doing, I think I die cut out, you know, 10 of them, and then not all of them had where that hole was going to be where it needed to be on the white piece. So I just wait until I'm done with it to add that circle punch. I aim for the middle. I'm not always on the middle. I'm just using some twine here, baker's twine with some gold in it because it goes with that gold and the joy. And I'm going to thread through it in half, the half of it in half, thread, then the loop and pull through to get that style. You definitely can just run it through and do it the other way. Because I don't know what I'm doing with this one, I just end up tying each of my ends off so it doesn't fray. But you could definitely just tie them together if you're planning on hanging it on the tree, that sort of thing. That's probably what I will do with mine for the kids if this is what I give them. So the last thing we have is the ornament. So these ones are, you could definitely, don't even need to have the wood blank for this one. I would guess that the Dollar Tree probably has wood style ornaments or ornament blanks of some sort to do this. The other thing is just cutting a lot of circles out and making a circle one using your puncher or your chomper and clip it and call it good. Oh, well, there you go. MFT's having their 45% sale now. See, I knew it was like coming up. I'm not going to look because I don't need any more things. I want more things. I don't need more things. I like that. They're currently having it. I know I read it in my email and I just clicked out. It's one of those. I like collecting things. I don't have time to use them all though. So at the beginning of last year, I kind of made myself a promise that I'd quit buying all the things. And so I kept to only buying Lawn Fawn, I think, and which is the other one? I did a little bit of Lawn Fawn and then I did a little bit of Ink Road because hello, snarky stamps. But I cut back on that too. Next year I have to, you know, stick to just Lawn Fawn, I think. Maybe. Possibly. You know. Miles, yeah. Oh, it was your birthday month. I mean, you know, my husband tried ordering me something for Christmas the other night and it didn't go through. And I was like, it's okay, honey. I already bought you my Christmas gift. It's how this chick rolls. It's all good. He just laughed at me. Same thing, right? I earn cash back so I can spend more on craft supplies. It's how I roll. I am going mostly straight across with my letters. I oozed again. That's what I get for not paying attention to what I'm doing and reading comments. So this one I would definitely say go with a name if it's gonna fit. It's what I wanted to do, but of course my name options were few and far between. So we did one last night. She didn't like the layout, which was fine because I'm all for being you and doing what looks best for you. I kind of like it on the O. Let's do it on the O. And so we ended up doing a second hill on the back and the little sleepy bear on the hill, and then the numbers like followed the hill. It was really cute. I don't have a picture, but it turned out really cute. But so that's, I will come back later and add probably the sleepy bear under there, or, you know, snowflakes maybe. I might add some snowflakes to this one just because I think it needs something yet. But, you know, the biggest part of this one is definitely the little bear on the front. So I just add this with my glitter art glue. I'm using super old circles. So my circle stack is probably my original ones from Spellbinders from back in the day. I like that. I love how we, you know, mine is in June, so it's like second Christmas. And then, well, September, my kids are back in school. They're not in school anymore, so I can't even use that excuse anymore. I didn't have to buy school supplies, so I can spend it on craft supplies. And November's my anniversary, so, you know, I have to buy myself something for my anniversary. And there's Valentine's Day. Don't forget Easter. You know, you're good. You can make excuse. Oh, I didn't do. All right. Pay attention to what you're doing. All right. For this one, let's stamp it before we put it on the ornament. All right. So I have it all set up. I'm stealing the Have a Beary from, I want to say I stole that one from Den Sweet Den. I'm doing the Have a Beary. And then for Christmas, I was looking for one that I could bend and make it circular, you know, so it has the curve to it. And so I ended up stealing the Merry Christmas from Happy Helpers. There are multiple ones out there that would work. That's just what I had in my stash that worked well. And because I don't want to smudge, I'm just going to go in with my dye ink and not my pigment one today and set that like so. So the trick for lining up the circle on the bottom, I actually flip my door open, I lay a circle on the other side, and then help to just make stamping a shaped image in your MISTI easier. But then I just line it up. Before putting this one in, I can kind of gauge how it looks and adjust before I stamp it. And then I can just, since my glue is not all the way dry, I can lift it back out. It's called, yeah. So this one, if you don't want to do it in an ornament form, you could definitely do it on as a focal point. I think when I started making cards, that was a lot of what I did was focal point card making. So maybe you had different patterns in the background, but you still had that focal. And doing a circle to me is like a focal point card, so it makes it pretty easy to do that style on an ornament, or adapting this one to a card and vice versa. And then maybe I'll get my little bear. So his little toes could be on top of the snow. And this is kind of where I didn't give him a lot of real estate for a hat on the front. So, you know, I probably will leave the hat off of him. I don't think I put a hat on any of my bears today. I can probably sneak a hat on my other one. So for my string on this one, I'm just going to string it through. Using organza ribbon, I actually have it's like a ribbon cutter, but it's like the heated one. And so it scalds the ends. And so you don't have to worry about them fraying. And then I'm just going to do a simple through and then loop cut or loop knot on this one. So that finishes off that part of the ornament. Oh, we have to glitter yet. That's all that we have left to do. I am not going to add that one until later. Where is my tag? I set it here somewhere. Here we go. Tag. So we need glitter yet. So last night we had the discussion about liquid glitter and dry glitter, because the one wanted glitter on the front and the back of the ornament. And so the best way to do glitter on both sides is, well, live where you're going to glitter. But for us, for class, we didn't have that option. So we actually did glitter art glue on the front and then loose glitter on on the front, and then on the back side, she had already done her glitter on her little bear and her hill. So that way you could do glitter on both, and then it's going to dry faster with the glue than it is with the sickles. So keep that in mind if you're doing both sides of the ornament. I, don't always keep that in mind when I do. Is this the one I did today? Or is this the one I think this is the one I did today. I don't remember. You guys probably know better than I do. I was naughty and I'm going to glitter the whole outside of my ball. I'm going to be super careful here not to get any on that circle part, and then I'm going to have to be careful not to turn it until it's dry. And then, of course, adding a little bit of glitter to the snow. I think we'll add the hat onto this one as well. I have enough real estate there that I think I can add the hat without any issues. And then I'm going to glitter my hill. It doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. You can also do glitter on here. I like doing the glitter halfway up. I think it's just kind of a cute little look, but it also kind of makes it look like it's sunk into the snow maybe a little bit. And it's not adding glitter to the whole letter, just a little bit. Not that it really needed it, but I'm going to add this quick before I forget. I think we can just pop him on there. Try not to get, of course, I stuck my finger right in the snowflake. Hello, world. I think we need to cover both of his ears up. Okay. And then, of course, we're going to glitter that because I can. There is that one. So he's all glittered and done, ready to go. And this one, I'm just going to add a little bit of glitter to the snow in my snow globe. Keep him pretty simple. He's just a tag after all. The letters on the tag are, I think, a Momenta die set. I picked it up at, it's Momenta, part of Spellbinders. I'm pretty sure. Let me go and grab it. It's right here. So it's the Momenta it's a 2-inch letter set. So it's one of those, I picked it up on clearance. But it's one of those that's just a nice big size. The other one that would work, I have old Sizzix, like steel rule dies that are still those big chunky letters that are, taller, that are about a 2-inch. It's a good set to have. Just a 2-inch one is such a nice set to have because you can do a lot with it. I'm not going to glitter my back yet. I will do some glossy accents on my snow globe on the front here. And I'm not going to lift this one up today. I'm actually going to let it lay flat until it's done drying. Yeah. I was trying to hang it last night because I had glitter on the front and glossy accents. Like, it started running. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. At least I caught it before it was too late. And I could kind of fix it a little bit. It's not very smooth today. Okay. And then with the glossy accents, I like to add a wee little bit of glitter to it. I don't have my pixie glitter is in the other room. So I will just do some of this one. And let's see. I just want a teeny tiny bit. So I'm just going to go like that. I don't want to go heavily. I just kind of want to spring back later. But that is today's live. So we have our ornament, our coordinating card, what's shaken. So be good for goodness, shake. Have a very Merry Christmas. Oops, that's last night's. Where's my tag? I was going to say, it's wet. I said it somewhere. Here it is. And we have the tag. So hopefully that gives you a couple of ideas. The dog would work very well with this, the snow globe in general works really good for the word for the letter O in any of your, or even the A in shake, it would totally work as well. If you wanted to, a mini slim would be really cute with like the little snow globe in it as well. Like the little mini snow globe, make it a little shaker would be really cute too. So, all right, any questions before I go? Amazingly, it only took 1 hour and 20 minutes. Last night it took us about 2.5, 3 hours. We might talk a lot and get to say hi. So I know you stopped by. My internet is slow today. It keeps reloading. So, but that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Enjoy, the rest of your day. If you don't catch me on live again before Christmas, have a good Christmas or Hanukkah, no matter what you celebrate. I hope it's a good one. And I will try to be back next week. I don't know what my schedule looks like. I don't have anything currently slated on my schedule for YouTube. I need to get some stuff done this weekend and, catch up. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.